So we have public speak, Julie.
Okay, I get to
Welcome.
start.
Yeah,
You
we
do.
start with
Oh,
public.
great, okay. I didn't anticipate that, sorry. Okay, so I've come today.
Could we have your name?
Oh, I'm Julie Grom. I live at 43 Franklin Street right now, but I've just moved from 7 Liberty. And I've been in Easthampton for a little more than a year now. And generally, I have to say that I really like it. I love the community here, and a lot of like the updates that have already been made to make Easthampton more amenable for younger folks. But I guess my biggest concern is now that I have a vehicle, now that I have a vehicle and I'm not like biking, walking, or taking the bus, it's the roads. They're like frightening to me in certain parts. And especially like I'm now doing delivery service, and driving through Easthampton is like by far the worst. So, sorry, let me do this.
It's okay.
So I guess my concern is like I was reading online about the plan to update like downtown here and what that looks like, and I'm glad that's something that we've obtained funding for to be able to do. But my thought is like, and I was trying to find it and I didn't find anything. Like, what was our plan if we didn't obtain this funding like prior to this? Because I feel like the roads are not suddenly just like one winter bad. They've been like building up on like how much worse they're getting. So I guess my question is like, why are we at this point instead of like a preventative point? Now we're like trying to just do like massive repairs, I feel, instead of like, you know, being on a more proactive measure. And I get that like things happen and like it is New England and weather is weather here. I just don't know that I feel like it's been handled like an ongoing process. I guess some of my other questions are more related to that project in particular, right? It's abbreviated DSP. So like Union Street, Cottage Street.
That's a complete
Schools.
street
I
program.
don't know what you're
Complete
saying.
Streets program?
I don't know, the update and the revaluation of like
Complete
District
Streets.
40R,
Right.
complete streets.
I don't know.
I don't know, I like saw it abbreviated DSP on
That's
like
actually-
the City Hall website, so, I guess more, like I have some more questions related to that as well, regarding like what we're going to do with the schools and how like that parking is going to be affected and what our thoughts are there, and are we using like funding, like are we selling the schools, is that like where's that funding going? And I know that's like more of a city council question than like just you guys, but I think that also affects like, will you get some of that money to like fix our roads? What will that do? You know what I mean? Like,
It usually doesn't work that way. The school, money going to the school is for
well,
the
because
school.
they're thinking about selling the schools, right? Like the 2 elementary schools once we build the new one.
Once we do the new one, yeah.
Yeah, so like the thought is maybe to sell it, maybe to convert it into other things, right?
Right,
Like has that
well,
not been far enough discussed to like bring up the idea of this?
Yeah, that has,
Okay, totally fine.
But I don't know what, as far as like, for the sale, I'm not sure where that money would actually go to the city. If it's-
Yeah.
That would go into the general
General
fund,
fund, okay.
which we have no control over.
Okay.
That goes in, that's completely up to city council.
Okay, cool.
And then, you know, they would, I would assume they would say where that money goes to.
And again, I just remind the board, this is citizen speak.
That's right. Thank you.
No.
Yeah, we actually can't answer.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really weird, because I'm like, I was like, okay.
Well, anything that we discuss has to be on the agenda. It has to be posted so that people know that it's going to be discussed and they can come and give their input.
Okay.
So citizen speak is really you come, you speak before the board, and we take that under consideration and move on. We can add it to the agenda or what have you.
Okay, I guess really what my like concern is like, why are we at this point instead of being preventative? Like, why are the roads so bad? What was the prior plan? Because I'm having a hard time finding that information, and if that were like given to me or obtainable, that would be really great too, or accessible somewhere, because maybe I just missed it. yeah, and what is our plan right now to fix things? Because I'm feeling like from the office of DPW, I've been brushed aside a little bit as like being bothersome, but really I'm like a concerned citizen that doesn't want people to like have to drive their cars over things that are non-functioning, that also like cause, I think, like displacement of like vehicles and people, you know, as they're like trying to get about their days safely. So yeah, and I'm glad to see that there is some road work like finally happening and repairs starting to be made. But I guess my main thing is like, why are we here? What was our prior plan? And what are we doing to fix things right now? 'Cause it's bad right now. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. So going forward, I guess my only follow-up question is like, do I come to the next meeting? Can this be addressed then? Or does this get put on the agenda? How do I like receive dialogue with you guys?
My suggestion would be to put a list of questions in writing to the board, and then I would get those answers back to the board, and you could get it back to them.
Yeah.
Can I email them?
Yes.
Okay, and that it will be on City Hall page, right? Like the email is the best person?
dpw@easthamptonma.gov.
Okay,
It's on
cool.
the Facebook page.
Okay, and that'll be fine to
Yep.
reach for this council meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
And they
just
would-
put attention, Board of Public Works.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you all so much.
Yep.
Or- Thanks, Julie.
Have a good day.
You as well.
We have approval for the minutes. So this is just Michelle and I, right?
I believe so.
Last meeting. Thank you for that reminder, John.
And I'm like, I'm not answering any
Yeah.
questions. This isn't a question and answer session.
As much as you'd like to give your input on what's going on and what's happening, you can't.
Yeah, that's right. Even the city council public speak time, you'll see the council just sitting there because they can't say anything back.
Right, but
So it's not on
super
the
awkward for the
agenda.
person speaking there,
Yeah.
but you not make them.
Right.
Yeah, they want answers to their questions, but they can't say anything.
Oh, you don't
Yeah, you
sign
can't
that.
sign that.
You don't sign that.
You weren't
weren't here.
That's last time.
You were here last time?
March 7th.
Yeah, everybody's here.
Oh, that's right, you all were present, that's right,
It was the one
okay.
before.
Yes, you are correct, yep. Yes, but your name is on the top.
It is. I remember being here.
Discussions of correspondence with state agencies, cities, and boards. Is there anything just the city agenda?
That's just the agenda. That's all.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's it for that?
That's it for that.
The DPW taking custodial needs of the city. So last year, the building custodians were switched from the mayor's office to the DPW. I don't see any issue with that. Dr. Joe doesn't have any issue with that. There is a technicality, which I've given you each a copy of the ordinance, and it says that it can be perfectly fine. In fact, it spells it out. That it can be collection, disposal of garbage and refuse, maintenance and repair of city buildings and properties, and it goes on and on. But it does say right before that, by ordinance. Board of Public Works can't pass an ordinance. That can only be done by city council. So my suggestion is that we send it upstairs to the city council. They can send it to ordinance subcommittee. And, you know, we've done everything that we can do to make sure that the charter is being followed.
Yeah, I think it was a little, yeah, just have that, the ordinance,
Yeah, just to make sure.
I guess somewhere else in the charter it says, like DPW does maintain all the buildings, the things that by ordinance, okay. But
Right.
how did it end up there? How did it end up in the mayor's office?
It was in the mayor's office. It's always been in the mayor's office.
It was in the mayor's office from day one with the original mayor. That's where he kept it.
Then it got switched
Is that
over.
by ordinance? Or did he just do it?
Everything was, the budget and everything was all handled out of that office.
Okay.
And so
That's fine.
the janitorial staff and everything, when it was switched over to the DPW, that came with the budget and everything. So it's not costing
That's correct.
the DPW any more money. It's just, there's a technicality that, of how it was done that's being questioned. So we're just,
Right.
dotting our i's and crossing our t's and,
And where does it fit in an organizational chart?
Yeah.
right.
What if, it's just strange, this weird little by ordinance, so like any move like this becomes sort of overwrought.
Anything dealing with that specific, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a process unless they change the charter, which they're reviewing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know that this whole section is gonna be coming up for question.
Right.
I understand that we may be invited to that meeting to discuss, when that happens, but for right now, this is the charter as it is, and until voters change that, this is the charter we need to follow. It's a bit confusing because on one hand it says it needs to be done by ordinance, on somewhere else in the charter it says that the city council really has no say in what we do. So it's, my suggestion is that, I entertain the motion to send it upstairs to city council and see what they come back with. Okay. How would we do that? Is that something your office would do?
I would have to talk with Barbara to figure out how the mechanics actually work for that.
Okay.
We can get it done out of our office.
Okay. But then it's done and we've done everything we can to follow.
Okay. So, charter and work.
Going through the packet very quickly, we actually have a picture of our new $330,000 truck.
So this is the one you decided on, what, did you try 3 of them?
We tried 3 of them. This one was
I saw one down.
specifically built for us,
Okay.
right? That's why we took so long to get it, because we ordered the cabin chassis that we wanted. We wanted a Freightliner, then that had to come in, and then the cabin chassis went to the, upfitted with the certain size,
Yeah, I get it. I imagine these aren't off the shelf.
They're not off the shelf. They're not off the shelf at all.
Actually, I think this might be the one I saw being used last fall by the Legion. They were trying it out.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
And so now this does all those 3 things. You're keeping those 3 pieces of equipment just in case.
Yeah, the catch basin cleaner, the orange peel catch basin cleaner, that's in tough shape, but it's not costing us anything right now. We're gonna hang on to it. We'll probably sell as surplus the old, actually it goes with, that's right, it goes with the trade. We traded it in, the trailer mounted flusher. That was part of the trade, so that's gonna go. So we'll just have one old truck and this new truck left.
Okay, so with 2 guys to do the work of 4 now instead of getting everything back and forth.
Actually, we can clean the catch basins much cleaner than you can with an orange peel. This thing will suck everything right out of it.
Oh,
You have an old catch basin, it might even suck the blocks out of it. The next thing is a letter that I need help with, and that's evidenced by the woman that just sat here. Coming out of this winter, we find our roads are in just horrible shape. And if you go to any one of these streets that I've listed here, I mean, it's not something that's going to get any better. People come into our office and they say, I want to know what the road list is for road repair this year. And I try to explain to them, look, I got 90 miles of road. I should be doing something to those road, to those roads every 10 years, which means 9 miles of road. I should be doing something to, whether it's full depth reclamation or mill and fill or crack sealing or like on Line Street, we used a chip seal, 9 miles. Last year, I think we did 2.5. That's been the story for the last 20 years. It's catching up with us. It's catching up with us. We, this year, are getting claims probably to the tune of 5 or 6 a day for damages because of potholes. And all I tell the people is we're doing the best with what we have. And I don't even talk about the sidewalks. I had a guy that came in again today. He's screaming, "Look at this sidewalk! Look at this sidewalk!" I said, "I know the sidewalk. I know exactly where you are. No sidewalk is worse than this in town." I said, "I have to disagree with you. We have sidewalks that are worse than that in town. This doesn't even take into account any work on the sidewalks." I need to push this up the ladder, so I'm asking the board to help me to go to the mayor and the finance director and say, is there money that we can use to augment Chapter 90? We're getting Chapter 90 funds to the tune of $480,000 a year. The city of Northampton, as by comparisons, gets $1 million in Chapter 90, but they've been augmenting that with city funds to the tune of between $1.5 and $2.5 million on top of their $1 million for the last couple of years. We're still spending our measly $480,000. We're just falling further and further and further behind. You might as well, at some point, buy me a grader because they're gonna be dirt roads, and I'll end up grading the roads because that's how I'll keep the potholes out, because I can't. You've all been on East Street lately. That's where the bulk of the claims are coming from. We couldn't fill the potholes and keep them filled because the water kept draining off the mountain back into the holes every night, and if people would hit them, pound it out again.
People have potholes.
The only way to fix that is to get in there and do some serious work to it. Patching doesn't work. I asked the engineers to give me a breakdown on what each road would cost, and so that it's not the board would see it's not well, give me $5 million, give me $6 million, and I can do something. No, this is real. This is real. The thing that kind of puzzles me is that when we did our IWRMP, we identified $20 million worth of work over the next 5 years. A lot of people stunned by that, and I understand that because they can't see the water pipe in the ground, they can't see the sewer pipe, they can't see the drainage pipe. They don't have access to our wastewater treatment plant or our water treatment plant or our pump stations. So they just have to take our word for it that they're in tough shape. Everybody knows what the streets are like. Everybody rides on them every day. And I'm just looking for some help, other than saying, we're doing the best with what we can. I'd like to be able to say, yes, we recognize the problem, we can't get it all, but here's what we're doing because the city's augmenting our Chapter 90 with this, or we've been told there is no funds. This is what we got to work with. So this is what you got. So that's my spiel. The board, you tell me what you want to do here.
What is it that the board can do to move this along?
What I'd like the board to do, I've already asked the finance director, what I'd like the board to do is sit with the mayor and the finance director and relay this same message, that we have a serious road problem and we need extra funds to do it. And if the finance director and the mayor say, we recognize that, but as a board, we're telling you that we can't augment those funds, I've done my job, you've done your job.
So you make them aware of it. I mean,
That's all I'm trying to do,
sharing
is make them aware of it. And it's not like the general public is not aware of it, because they come in screaming at us every day on the phone, at the counter, lots of emails.
It is. And you can reread them.
Yeah. So,
Involving people, not the same person.
yeah, they're not the same person, right?
You know, and like one woman called in at one point, and she was complaining about East Street, and I I said, I completely understand your frustration. I said, I come from Huntington, I said, and I don't have an alternative route to get here, so I have to travel down certain roads that are a mess. I said, at least in Easthampton, you have alternate routes to get around. The road is too bad. Oh, yeah.
Has it been an unusually aggressive thaw and freezing cycle this winter?
You know, what happened this year is we didn't get snow and snow and snow. We got snow and rain. We had our pothole season start in January, not in March or late February. So we had pothole season start early on, and we had that freeze-thaw cycle January, February, March. And the blacktop plants don't open till April. And just because the blacktop plants open in April don't mean that all the potholes are gonna be fixed like that. The guys physically have to walk every street, wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow, and fill those holes to do it right. And we're not gonna have our holes filled till July, August. Because, again, it's weather dependent. You can't go out putting blacktop in the pouring rain, so if it's raining, guess what? We're not out there. Guys are entitled to vacation. If a couple guys go on vacation, guess what? We don't have a full crew, can't do that. So, you know, there's other considerations that come into it, that just because the blacktop plant's open in April doesn't mean that, oh, now everything's fine and dandy.
The main thing isn't that, it's money.
The main thing isn't that, it's money. It's money.
So we can each either meet with the mayor individually. We can't meet with her as a group because that would be violating quorum. We have a quorum as two of us with her. So we can meet with her individually, or I can talk to the mayor and see if she will come to our meeting. I'm not sure how we want to approach that.
I talked to both the finance director and the mayor.
I've had no difficulty talking with Melissa. She's still our financial director. Timing. And no, they both seem pretty accessible. So, but if anybody has any difficulty doing with it, I can ask the mayor to come here.
Just talk to Melissa to figure out the reality of how these can go.
That's right. Whether it comes out of stabilization or free cash, or we bond it, or an override. There's options to be discussed, and there's pros and cons to all of them. So, you know, her being the finance director, she'll be able to tell you how that will affect the city. And a lot of these play into the same questions that the person he was asking.
This isn't something that we would discuss with the city council, is it, at this point, because it's the mayor who sets the budget?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. If money is recommended by the finance director and the mayor, then it goes to city council, then the board would be there and say, yeah, we really need this. Or come to the finance committee, subcommittee meeting and say, yeah, we're really hoping you'll approve this. Because once a subcommittee approves something, usually it's adopted by the full council. Okay. Thank you. Moving down the list, we've got Cottage Street snowbanks. Now, we've had people complaining about the snowbanks that sat on Cottage Street. And as we talked about that last storm, it rained after that. People drove on it, they packed it, turned to ice. They're pretty much gone now.
Right, but you can't do what you normally do. You
can't-
scoop up the glacier.
You can't cut into ice, you know.
They're gone now.
They're gone now. And the last one was the East Street deer crossing signs. We got a request to put deer crossing signs up. I don't have an issue with that. Obviously, we can't put them up till springtime, till it thaws out and we order them. However, I don't think that's going to solve any problems, because people just don't read signs. I don't care what sign it is, they just don't see it. They don't, whether
This
it's,
is the orange barrel apple.
yeah, whether it's a speed sign, or whether it's a blind driveway or something like that. People just don't read them, but we can certainly put it up.
And we have to determine where, right?
We have to determine
And how
where
many?
and how many.
It's not big long street. You know, we're gonna put one at every entrance.
Right, yeah, that's right.
I mean, if it's what, ask them what the hunters, they know where the deer trail.
They know where the trail is, that's right. Yep.
Kind of follow patterns.
We need to find out what that is.
Or I could ask the police department, as far as accident reports, where the deer hit the
I
most.
suppose that
Yeah.
would be the easiest one.
That'd be the easiest one, where the deer hit.
Yep.
Other than that, that's all I have for tonight.
Well, I have one question. So the Cottage Street Place snow removal, how is it determined whether or not that happens?
Well, it's very easy. If-
Sometimes it's done. And
Yeah.
sometimes-
Well, again, it all depends on, there's a couple of different factors. If it snows today, and they're saying snow Thursday, chances are we're probably gonna go get it, because we know that double storm, and there's gonna be a lot of snow there. But if it snows today, and if they're saying snow tomorrow, we don't have time to go get it. So now we've got a big problem. But for the most part, we try to get it whenever it looks like after the storm, there's gonna be a problem. There's gonna be a problem parking. So whether it's Cottage or whether it's Union or, School Street by the school, or whatever. So let's go get it out of there. So, but the way this one came in, perfect timing, where it just happened to fall, got some rain on it, they packed it, froze, too late.
That's it? Oh, okay. No, the wrong question. So what exactly is the sewer issue on Cottage Street?
There's a sewer lateral that comes out of this, I thought it was the soon-to-be Mexican place or whatever, that
Oh, yeah.
restaurant set back, but it's not, it's the storefront further down. They had an old Orangeburg sewer pipe, it's deep, 10 feet deep, and it was plugged. They ran it actually collapsed. They ran the camera in there, and they saw that the pipe was actually collapsed. So we had to dig it up and replace that pipe going back into the main. We had a hard time finding it, because every time we ran the probing rod, we couldn't find the pipe, because it just would go through the pipe. You know, we could, instead of, oh, here it is, it's like, right through. So it was that rotten. So I just got a text from them. They are coming up now. They've got it replaced, so hopefully they'll be out of there for dark.
Yeah, people are confused today.
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, I'll do it.
Second.
Thank you all.